Hello everyone, this is Vic Benedict. We are playing Heavy Rain with the hard QTEs, and I did this guide, I think it was back in February before Dead Space 3 came out, and I wanted to include the Taxidermist DLC, and I just didn't get it done. But anyway, now I am getting it done, and I'm going to have 5 different videos. This one will be the longest, only because it has everything leading up to the main checkpoint, off of which I'll link everything in the next videos. But this is called the Taxidermist. It's part of Heavy Rain's quote-unquote Chronicles, and I think they had designs to make more DLC, especially if they're calling it something like Chronicles. But this is the only DLC that I know that exists for this game. But if there is more, I'll have to investigate and see what's actually going on. So this is similar to the chapter in my guide where we were facing that doctor, that really sleazy psychotic doctor, where there was like 30 QuickTime events. But the thing that I really love about this DLC is that it's so suspenseful leading up to the actual confrontation, because you simply don't know what's going to happen. And I'm not going to spoil anything, definitely. But what I am going to do is just investigate some, like the mailbox, the trash can, to find the clues. I don't even know if there's any trophies for this, but there are 5 different scenarios that can play out. And each of them has its own requirements. Some of them are easier than others. Some are tough.
Looks like blood.
Anyway, but I think that the main reason I wanted to stretch this video out and look around. I don't go through every drawer because that would just take way too long, but I investigate the majority of the areas in the house. So he's either not answering the door or he's not home. We don't know quite yet what's going on. You could try to open the door. You could try to look in. And if you've ever seen Psycho, I think it was made in 1960 by Hitchcock. It's reminiscent of that because both of the antagonists here are taxidermists. Well, this guy looks like he's got a professional business. Of course, Norman Bates was not a taxidermist by trade, but the character that we're actually controlling here, Madison Page, she was one of the female protagonists in the game. So the controls are a little wonky, but I love this game. It's really fantastic. It reminds me of 7 and that my favorite TV show of all time called Millennium, which debuted in 1996, which had 3 seasons only. But the first season was the only good one of those. It had a couple of other good episodes, but if you've never seen that show that debuted on Fox, they used to have it right after the X-Files. And I was there back in 96 to watch the series premiere. It was wonderful with Lance Henriksen. Such a dark crime drama. But you are shown lots of backside images of her ass all the time, so just get used to that, enjoy it, I guess. That was something I laughed about in my guide when I made this game, all the ass shots. But that QuickTime button that I'm doing right there is actually a swipe, so it works really well. This game is just a remarkable accomplishment from Quantic Dream, and that ass again. I'm really looking forward to playing Beyond Two Souls, but I don't think it, from what I've seen, it doesn't look like it's as focused as this game is. Anyway, there are things you could do here, like knock off the bottle, which I'm going to do on purpose, but you can catch it. Just make sure you catch it, because if you knock a bottle down, or if you knock this stuffed owl over here down, what's going to happen is one of its wings is going to fall off, and it doesn't affect the checkpoint, so it's actually fine. But the only thing that you'll have to, there's actually 3 checkpoints, so it's very well made. But if you have the owl play stuff like that, the guy is not going to get alerted. I'm not going to say when he comes out. He will get alerted, but just not as right away is actually when he gets alerted. But he actually will do some other things. It's not like he gets alerted instantly. It's just faster than it ordinarily would. So the 5 scenarios that can play out are sacrificed in the name of truth, in the middle of the horror, the end of anguish, where is Madison Page, and the end of the nightmare. This video, as you can tell from the title, it's called Where is Madison Page. So what we're going to be doing in this in this video is we're going to be using the phone to call for help. When she was on her motorcycle in the beginning of this video, she was talking to one of her colleagues or friends. I don't know what his name was, but that's who you're going to be calling, and I'll show you which room it's located in. But in several of these scenarios, yeah, you see the chainsaw. That's going to be what we're going to use to take this guy out in the final video, in a very nice bloodbath. But in several of these scenarios, you're going to have to allow yourself to get killed if you want the particular ending. So let me see how many there are. I think there's 2. 2 out of the 3 scenarios require you to allow yourself to be killed. But the tension that builds up here is really it's like tangible, because you just don't. There's so many places that a potential monster can jump out, especially upstairs, and you might want to close every drawer you open, every door you open. You might want to close it. I don't think it has too much bearing on what happens. Like, I opened the bathroom door, but I don't even think there's an interact button to close it, so I don't think it matters.
Big muscle man who guts animals. He must be a very popular guy.
So we've looked everywhere downstairs. We've got a couple of clues. Now we're going to head upstairs. And the way to trigger the event, I'm not going to say what it is. You have to go down to the main room and see what's in there. Now, about these floorboards, they're going to come into play later when you're trying to carefully walk over them without anyone hearing you from below. This right here is the phone. Just pointing it out. But this is the room where the phone is. So every time you reload the checkpoint, the phone room is going to be like behind you. This basketball too, I never tested this, but I think if you don't put the basketball back in the cupboard, if you're ever hiding from the guy, in several of these scenarios, if you're hiding from him and if he comes up the stairs unaware of your presence and he sees the basketball, I think that would trigger him to realize that somebody's in the house. But here I'm looking for the basketball. Just going to put it back where it came from. And also, whenever the main scenario plays out, I'm just going to let it play out in real time and at the normal decibel level, so you can enjoy it. I'm not going to speak over it because I don't want to ruin it. The very intense and dramatic sequences. So this room right here contains a cut-up woman in the bathtub. But this isn't the room. If you go into this room and then go back to the stairs, it's not going to trigger the event. So you've got to investigate more.
The
First time I played this, I was just so terrified of going into every door. And then you see his stuffed human beings in this room. We've got the nurse, and we've got some other woman on a bed. So the guy is She thinks he's the origami killer, and the actual, I'm not going to spoil who it was in the main game, but that voice actor is the same guy for the Taxidermist. So it's very brief DLC, unless you're trying to do all the scenarios, making them all work. But anyway, we've got everything. She ran out of battery right there, so we're just going to leave this room, and then the event will play out at the end of the hall, at the staircase, I think. So, he was not even in the house the whole time. And now, what's going to happen every time, this is the checkpoint, so every time you want to start a new attempt at trying out one of these new scenarios, make it a different ending for yourself, just start at this checkpoint, and things will go a lot faster. Now, if he did come home and saw that you had broken a bottle, or one of his stuffed birds was wingless, or had one less wing, he would get alerted pretty quickly, but he would still go through the motions.
These floorboards are gonna get me killed.
A little weasel comes sniffing round my little secrets. Come on, visitor. You're gonna be my doll, my pretty little doll. You're gonna be all mine. Come on, honey. I'm gonna take care of you. Ha 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 ha.